How easy do you think it is as a term to understand? Actually, first let me ask, what do you think I'm referring to when I ask about punch?
About the boom, boom, boom.
These have a vulgar amount of treble.
Yeah. I don't even own like a pair of headphones. Dude, I'm completely,
Bro,
just so that the viewers know.
You put them on
so
backwards.
That they don't,
Hey everyone, it's Headphones.com, and today I have a very special video for you. As a reviewer, it's kind of challenging to describe what sounds like when I'm evaluating a pair of headphones, and I think it's something that a lot of reviewers try to navigate. It's communicating what we're hearing, or sometimes, for example, what we're seeing on a frequency response graph. We'll use adjectives or nouns. Even sometimes we'll say something is, warm, or it's bright, or it has a shout. Stuff like that. Something that I often consider is, well, how accessible is that language? Is it easy for people who aren't too into this hobby to understand? And well, that's kind of what I want to test today. So I've gathered a few of my friends and I've set up this little experiment where basically I'm drawing quotes from my reviews where I'm talking about a specific listening quality of a headphone. And then I'm having my friends listen to two headphones and they have to guess which headphone the quote is referring to. And then I want to see how effective they think the terminology is at describing said quality of the headphone. I chose some of the easier terms for this video, and I got those from Resolve's Audiophile term tier list, which, by the way, that video is very entertaining. That will be linked down below in the description. So, it's going to be some of the easier terms, but who knows? If this video is indicative of anything, or if you find it entertaining, let me know if you'd like me to throw some of the more difficult or weird terms at my friends for another video like this one. And one more thing I wanted to note was that all listening was done through the SPL Finder XC amplifier with the built-in DAC, and that the songs that my friends will be listening to were chosen by me because I was testing for specific sound qualities, and I'll be listing those out and detailing what songs they were tested for or what terms they were tested for in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. So the first term we're going to be testing is punch and dynamics.
Okay.
So this is the quote. The blank headphone still has a great sense of punch and slam quality to it. Bass notes hit with authority and deliver a nice physical sense of impact. So punch and slam.
This one versus the next one.
punchiest.
Yes.
I got it.
That's punching.
Definitely slamming.
I don't know how to explain it.
Oh, HD 800.
Which one sounds punchier, do you think, so far?
I think, no, the other one is, the sound is like more like full, but this one I feel like is just like...
Yeah,
so the thing is, the soundstage feels a lot wider, so those horns that come from the side are punchier.
Yeah.
But the actual...
That's what I wanted to say.
It's definitely punching. I don't know if it's slamming, but it's definitely punching.
I didn't feel, a punch or slam.
I didn't really know, but the snare sounded really good though.
Yes.
Actually, first let me ask, what do you think I'm referring to when I ask about punch and dynamic?
About the boom, boom, boom.
Punch.
Well, in the Dre song, like definitely where I most noticed it wasn't even the kick or the bass, it was the horns, whatever that tuba was. I could hear it like vibrating in my ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that was definitely more of a slam to me.
With the horns, it almost, I don't know, it almost feels like abrupt every time it came in. Like it made me go, ooh, yeah.
Punch to me is, well, I feel like ear cups will have a lot to do with it because these ear cups are a lot bigger and there's less like noise isolation for your ears. So I feel like there's a lot more bleed in these. Like a lot of the punchy tones will be lost with these. That leads me to think the first ones are what you're talking about.
If I think it's just like the bass, then I would say this ones. But then if punch means something completely different, then, I'm wrong.
Punchier, the first ones.
Okay, so...
The vocals.
So which headphone do you think the quote was referring to?
Definitely the vocals. The vocals are definitely punching and slamming.
You were correct.
Okay.
We would say that is the headphone that the quote is referring to.
Though.
The thing is, when we say punch and dynamics, we're referring to a sort of like it's not dynamics in terms of dynamic range.
Yeah.
It's more like a tactility sort of thing.
Yeah.
So like things will have more oomph. Like
Yeah.
you'll feel like a sort of impact or hit, particularly on like drums.
So
Punch.
is dynamics like just less flat?
It refers to like almost like a sense of physicality, like
Okay.
impact. So it's not
Tactility.
dynamic. Yeah,
Yeah,
tactility. It's not dynamic range.
Okay.
How easy do you think it is as a term to understand?
I think I don't know if there's like colloquially it's used in a different way, but I think I get like the idea behind it is, you know, when you hear a bass
Yeah,
like bumping, it's
like
punching,
you feel
slamming,
it, you know,
feel it
you feel
physically,
it.
yeah. So I think that's a
Yeah.
pretty accurate term.
Punch is pretty clear, I think.
You know, the headphone the name is clear, right? Was that supposed to be a pun?
No, it wasn't.
I don't even own like a pair of headphones. I'm completely, you know.
Bro, you
just so
can
that
tell.
the viewers know.
You put them on
So that they
backwards.
don't like,
Bro, you put them on backwards. You don't have to tell them.
just so that they know.
The next term is warm. So, on the other hand, we have the blank headphone, which has a treble region that I would describe as being very warm and very smooth. So, you're looking for a headphone that sounds warm.
I feel like, are you trying to like trick us because this is like warm and cushy?
No. No, not quite.
Certainly feel warm.
You know, that's the same thing that Camille said. They're like,
It's pretty warm. I think we could get warmer than that.
you already know? Okay, if you're so confident then, which headphone do you think is warmer sounding?
This one. Really?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't think so.
So what do you think warm is?
Eins. What do you think?
Hans. My name's Hans.
These have more of overall, a more rounder, smoother warmth to them.
Okay.
The other ones have a lot more space between the frequencies. But it's hard to tell because I don't think this song is EQ'd very trebly either. Unless that's just both the headphones EQs.
I feel like I'm just biased by like what I'm feeling, you know?
Really? Because
and
the
because this
velour
is
is
like
warm?
super like cushy and like, so like I think this
I'm
one.
leaning towards these two.
Yeah.
Well, you're both correct. We would say that this is the warm sounding headphone, and this is indeed the headphone I was referring to in my quote.
And it seemed to me like in the first one, maybe it was just because it was a little louder, it seemed like. But it did seem like I got more of like a fuller voice, I guess, and a warmer tone in the first set of headphones.
So we cut up the frequency response in 3 different sections. There's the bass, the mid, and the treble. So when the treble is at a lower volume or power relative to the mids and the bass, we'd say the headphone is warm sounding. This one actually is downshelved past 5K. So that's why you get a lot of like those like fuller sounding vocals. And probably slightly thicker bass too. So that's what would make it a warm sounding headphone. Hey, do you think that one's easy to understand?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for a layman, for us normal people.
So the term is spacious. So blank headphone is a remarkably open sounding headphone with a soundstage that feels wide, naturally spacious, and highly capable when creating a sense of distance.
What was the first word?
Blank headphone.
This would be open sounding because like there's so much like noise that can go through, you know?
They're both open, so the ones you're gonna be testing.
These headphones are all open ear, where the sides aren't enclosed.
I love those headphones. How much are they, you said?
I think the lowest I've seen is like 830.
I'll think about it.
Which one do you think is more spacious?
I'm gonna go with these.
Yeah.
Those?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely these.
You're
Especially-
correct.
Okay.
We're talking about soundstage with spacious, so we're talking about like this sort of sense of depth and distance that it can create, and you know how open sounding it is. Whereas we would say that a headphone like this is more intimate sounding because it's closer in, closer to your ears. How accurate do you think the term is?
I think that one's pretty intuitive.
I still think it's not as easy as slamming or punching, but
Yeah.
But I like, for me, especially the Mandalorian song, in the first one, it just, you know, it definitely felt kind of narrow. Like it didn't feel like,
The first headphone.
the
Yeah,
first headphone
okay.
felt kind of narrow.
Yeah.
The second one, I actually felt like I was moving because of the way the sound was. It felt like the sound was moving past me.
Okay, so here we have the last term, unfortunately, I think you'll know it because you do music production, but Sibilance. So here's the quote. At least to me, there is too much treble. This one really adds a lot of sibilance and sizzle to these headphones.
It's a wild guess, but I think it's gonna be those.
Any reason why?
These have a vulgar amount of treble.
Alright, let's see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I stick with my decision.
What do you think I'm talking about when I say that the headphone's sibilant?
Sibilant,
Background noise.
I think quite the opposite, right?
Also wrong. I'll give you a hint. The word sibilance almost has a bit of onomatopoeia as to what it
So I
means.
was thinking those high pitched, the S's, the T's, the hiss to the voice when John Mayer hits those.
Still can't
Yeah,
sing
still
it,
like it pierces, and that's why when I heard the Sennies, there was no chance that was the one because they're so balanced and warm.
So you vote for that one.
Absolutely, yeah.
Camille, which one do you vote for?
Okay, well, if we're talking about the S's, I need to re-listen because that's not what I was listening
Yeah, here you
for.
go. So
This one's night and day, I think.
which headphone do you think the quote's referring to?
Definitely these things.
The Biodynamic DT99. Oh yeah, you would be correct.
Okay.
So
Yeah, just you know,
To-
too bright. It was like
I mean,
overwhelming.
it just sounds like someone's like flipping burgers next to me. And
like sizzling. Yeah, sizzling. Okay.
it's exactly that. It'll add like it's usually produced by like mid and low treble spikes, so like 6 kilohertz, 8 kilohertz, really aggressive ones. So that one has like an excess of about 12 decibels at 8.5 kilohertz.
Dude, that's like the worst.
Yeah,
sounds
so
ever.
that one actually is really harsh because it has like 5 dB more than it should have at like 6K, and then like 12 more at like 8.5K
God.
Is it better to have this or not?
to not have it.
It's better to not have it.
Yeah, that's bad. If I hadn't mentioned treble, do you think you would have still got the sibilance bit?
I think that's kind of where I was going with, because like I said, like I know what sibilance is, like when someone's speaking, like that kind of like whistling.
Right, so you'd be able to tell that.
So I think based on that, if you just told me sibilance, I think I would probably still go with those.
Before I told you, you think you would have been able to figure out what I was talking about?
Yeah, I was gonna say the consonants,
Yeah.
but I didn't know what sibilance actually meant. But now I know. So, what?
Do you
I
think
would have been able to guess also.
there's a few different words out there that are a bit weirder? There is Pratt.
Pratt?
Yes.
Like Pratt.
No, just T. Just one T.
What is that?
I actually don't know myself, but there is
Fake audiophile.
there is well, Hans and Camille, thank you very much for joining us on the
course.
Headphone Show.
Good work. What? 100%, right?
Bye.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, the terminology did perform significantly better than I expected it to. My friends seem to think that the terms that we use in those quotes, which, you know, I chose terms that were easier and ones that are also used very frequently, they found them to be pretty intuitive. They were able to figure out what sort of characteristic I was describing, and most of them, you know, were spot on as to what headphone the quote was referring to, or what the term was referring to. So I think that next time, if I make another video like this one, I'd like to hear what terms you want me to test for. And also I want to see like maybe some of the more technical terms like detail. That's a very highly debated one. So I want to see what my friends who are normies, see what they make of that. But anyways, that is all for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, found it useful. If you did, do consider dropping a like. If you want to chat with me or the rest of the review team, there will be a link in the description down below to our community Discord. For more headphone audio content, stay tuned by subscribing to the Headphone Show here on YouTube. And until next time, this is Chrono signing off.